Friends, it is not, I repeat, not time for us to play a round of our favorite game, the options game. Instead, we are going to play a round of Options Apertivo, and that has nothing to do with where this car is manufactured, but it has everything to do with the fact that we don't have the prices of the individual options. All we have is the base price and the price of that car right there. So with that, let's start with the 2015 Ferrari California T. And I feel right up top I need to point something out. The ground I am standing on, that car and that color are all named California. In this particular case, it's called Blue California, and I absolutely love it. Yes, even on a Ferrari. While we're on the outside, notice the Scuderia shields here. Now, if you are familiar with Ferraris, you know this is optional on pretty much every Ferrari. And if I am looking at LA as like a somewhat scientific experiment, it's almost like 100% take rate on this thing. You know, I've often been divided on this. It's like, I've already got a Ferrari. Do I really need to be reminded by having the shields? That's just me. Anyway, let's press on to the interior. I am not going to attempt to butcher the name of that color, but it is stunning. Let's just call it a light saddle. That is optional. And really, it's the seatbelt that tells the whole story. So we've seen black seatbelts, red seatbelts, yellow seatbelts, but the blue seatbelt kind of clues you to what's on offer on the interior. And basically anything. So did you guys see our Rolls-Royce Ghost options game? In that, I likened it to this. It's not so much an options list on a car like this, you're simply limited by your imagination. So in this case, whoever spec'd it out, spec'd out blue seat belts. The piping is in blue, but you can get it in any color you want. They even picked up the exterior color. You know, Italians do have good taste. They picked up the exterior color in the stitching. This car also has a couple of specific options on top of that, like the top of the dash is finished in blue leather. The bottom of the dash, normally plastic, they finished that in blue leather. The back of the seats is the same type of leather as the front of the seats, and notice there's even stitching back there. The prancing horse logo, the shields, are repeated in the headrests. They've got this contrast like this black to pick up here in the seat themselves. And then one of my favorite options, this, you know, didn't see this one coming. You and I call it a tachometer, Ferrari calls it a rev counter. This one is finished in white. So you can get that any color you want, but to see it in white, very nice touch. Then there's a couple of other details, some optional, some not. Like you see the leather on the top of the tonneau cover here, it's repeated in the bottom of the headrest. That's optional. What's not optional, see the strap here? You pull this to move the seat forward like you're really gonna put people back there. This strap, I love that it's an old school strap, but notice it has the stitching repeated on the strap. Then, while we're here, it's like, I guess if you're a yummy mommy and you've got young kids, well, guess what? You got a baby smart tag in a Ferrari. While we're talking about Ferraris, Ferrari, if you know, recently had a birthday, 60 years in America. This car is fitted, as well as most other Ferraris for this model year, have this 60th anniversary plaque here. Now let's press on to what I feel is arguably the most important option on this car, and that is the screen in there. And it's not just for navigation or for a rear view camera. That screen is for something so important that we're going to dedicate a separate episode to it. And what it is Apple CarPlay. Friends, this is one of the first 4 cars in the US that is fitted with Apple CarPlay. It is such a big deal. I'm not overstepping my bounds here and saying it's going to change your daily routine. It's that big of a deal. Anyway, check out that separate episode. But that screen does have other functions, and one of them is a rear view camera, but it's not just rear view. There's 2 cameras here. There's cameras in the mirrors and cameras in the front, and you can cycle through all of those different cameras with a button that's located between the steering column and the actual screen itself. That is optional. Now, while we're in there, there's one other option we need to focus on, and that is, you know, we've talked about the red switch that changes all the damping. Well, the damping is optional. So if you, with the magnetic ride control, you know, the thing we've talked about for Cadillacs and Corvettes and that kind of stuff, that is optional in the California T, and all the adjustments are over there. And then while we're down here in this corner here, let's focus on 2 things. Number 1, notice the color of the brake calipers. Blue again. You can have these fitted, any way you want. You want them finished in yellow to match the Porsche in your garage? Go right ahead. You want them finished in silver to match the Mercedes in your garage? That's fine too. Those are optional. Now let's look at those wheels. The wheels, friends, they're called 20-inch diamond forged wheels. I personally don't like them very much. They almost look too small and they're 20 inches, but me as a California, I want to see a more traditional 5-spoke wheel here, not this dual cut thing here. But those are indeed optional, but I would argue any wheel you get on a car like this, you would need it to be more open because, hey, you got carbon ceramic brakes and blue brake calipers. So that is really about it for options. There's one more option, and that's basically a tire pressure monitoring system. And again, the only limit is your imagination, which brings us to the complete as tested price of one of the first 4 cars in this country with CarPlay, $260,259. Now, I want to leave you guys with a question here. I've spent a lot of time talking about the color blue. In other episodes, I have been not shy in telling you that blue is my favorite color. So I know I would pick this color. What do you guys think? Most people, they say if it's a Ferrari, it's gotta be, where is it? Where is that key here? It's somewhere, there it is. It's gotta be Ferrari red. Now, what color would you get this car in? Or really, any Ferrari? What color and why would you pick that color? Let us know in the comments below or via our social media, MotoManTV all one word, MotoManTV all one word, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Until next time, arrivederci. Look at him. He's just hanging out. He's chilling. He's like, hey, I want to check out Ferraris. Can you guys see that? He's just hanging out in the middle of the road. First it's donkeys, now it's wolves. What, you never seen a horse before? He's following, he's running on the road. Like he wants to race, check him out. Can you guys see that? He wants to race on the road. Okay, let's put the window down. Look at, he wants to speed up. He's racing us. We are racing a wolf in a Ferrari. Hey buddy, what's going on? Can you guys see that out there? Oh, sorry buddy. You fell, I'm sorry. Where are you going? Holy shit, check him out. Hey, if I had snacks, I'd give them to you. Because you are a champion, man. You're a good runner. He's like, screw it, I just want to race. I don't want to talk.